2023 presidential race to retain his ministerial seat. He made his withdrawal known in a statement today. While former Vice President PlusTvAfrica has also said Nigeria needs unity at this moment to build peace among Nigerians. He made this statement in Asaba as he visited PDP delegates in Government House. Our Asaba correspondent, Akpo Major Friday, reported that Atiku noted that the APC doesn't know the problem Nigeria is facing as a country at all levels. He promised to build unity among Nigerians if elected as president.
It is only when you tackle unity and security that you will be able to face the economy, whereby you can...
The presidential race is to serve Nigerians selflessly and not for personal or political pursuit. Professor Shibajo spoke at the Palace of Ewe of Ado-Ekiti, Obarufus Adejugbe in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital. This was in continuation of his consultations with stakeholders and APC delegates across the country ahead of the primaries. He said he remains the most outstanding in terms of experience and preparedness to be the next leader that would rid the country of corruption, insecurity, and other ills among the presidential aspirants. Oshibajo added that working under President Buhari, whom he described as a transparent and honest leader, is one of the things that has prepared him for the bigger task in leading the nation in 2023.
When the opportunity arose for contestants to put their names forward to run as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I believe it would have been remiss of me and almost irresponsible after 7 years in the office of Vice President, after having acted as President, and being clearly, and I say this with deep humility, being clearly the one person of all that has arrived, I will be able to put myself forward and put forward all that God has given me to learn and to experience in the service of our country.
We are praying, if by the grace of God you are there, remember the traditional institution. We want a place in the position of this country for the traditional rulers, so that it's not be every 4 years that you come there. We should have a role in the position of this country, not advisory position at all, so that when there's problem that we have now, you have a voice that should be respected.
Meanwhile, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu says is the only one running the presidential race in the forthcoming 2023 elections. He disclosed this today while addressing delegates of APC at the Niger State Government House Mina ahead of the forthcoming primary election. Tinubu explained that his developmental strides as a former governor of Lagos State were track records that only he could save the country from the present situation. Now, the Hope 23 Yahaya Bello Presidential Campaign Organization has refuted in strong terms a fake report that Governor Yahaya Bello has also picked a Senate form. Yahaya Bello Presidential Campaign Organization described the report as a laughable concoction of desperate aspirants who would do anything to be in the shoes of Governor Bello. Senate President Ahmed Lawan today submitted his expression of interest in nomination forms at the National Secretariat of the APC in Abuja. The forms were submitted on his behalf by Governor Mai Malabuni of Yobe State, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, and some members of the Senate. Political associates of the Senate President had paid 100 million naira to purchase the forms on May 9, saying the country needs a Nigerian president and not one given to ethnic proclivities. Now, ahead of the 2023 general elections, political parties across Nigeria are working towards a successful primary election. The wife of the Ondo State Governor, Betty Akeredolu, says she is the best candidate to represent Imo East Senatorial Zone. Akeredolu, who presented herself to the APC Working Committee in Owerri, assured party faithful of winning the main election for the party if given the chance to emerge as candidate for Imo East Senatorial District. She expressed dismay over what she described as poor representation of the zone in the past, promising quality representation now, as well as a voice for the women folk.
Because of my education, because of respect of education, there's no place I will knock my hands on the door they will not open, or I cannot interact with that person and make demands or build networks, build interpersonal relationships, lobbying. And these are the qualities you need to be an effective lawmaker or a senator. So, in conclusion, I know what a capacity. I know what a intellectual capacity, financial capacity.
I'll be very brief because I know we've wasted a lot of time. We have brought to you Adawe, the lady you gave to us 41 years ago. We saw the quality, the courage, the dexterity, the audacity, the vision, the dream, the experience. We saw in her, which has assisted the people of Ondo State in no small measure. My brother Akeredolu was very smart. He came for the best. And when I saw him, he came for the best. I'm also coming for the next best.
A 35-year-old Olujobi Fayoyin has declared his intention to run for Ogun State Governor in 2023. That's on the platform of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. According to him, while addressing the party faithful in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, it was high time the youth were accorded the opportunity to man the affairs of the state. He stated that he had made up his mind to be a part of those that would make a change in the country.
The state of our nation in general and Ogun State in particular will agree with me that this state needs a total overhaul in its government affairs. As a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I've made up my mind to be part of those that will make a better change in this country. So therefore, I found myself today as an agent of change to bring about a new Nigeria and a new Ogun State.
Governor Dakwa will be coming to demarket Ogun State youth, to demarket Ogun State as a state. But now for a youth of the caliber of Honorable Olujobi Fayoyin coming up, it has shown that what the governor said about Ogun State youth was a fallacy, and it is a kind of what Ogun State must condemn in entire totality. And how are we going to condemn is to have a youth that is coming up vibrantly, to change the narrative of politics.
Meanwhile, the last may not have been heard of the second-term ambition of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in Lagos. Insinuations are beginning to appear true about another prominent party member, Mr. Olorunfemi Mustapha, getting ready to give him a run for his money. Mustapha is a retired permanent secretary in the State Civil Service. During the week, he also submitted his APC governorship nomination form. To look at this possibility and other relevant issues, we're now being joined by political affairs analyst Otumba Bestman Nze Jambo. He is the president, Team Nigeria for Change. Good evening, Otumba. Good evening, Otumba. Are you there? Do you have our guest there? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. We can establish the connection. I can hear you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on our Primetime News. Now, it started as a rumor that Mr. Mustapha Olorunfemi was going to give the incumbent a run for his money. Then I had the Commissioner for Information, the State Commissioner for Information, on one of our bulletins over the weekend last week to talk about this. But then he refuted it as a rumor as well. But then shortly after that, few days after, during the week, We heard that he had also submitted his nomination form. What's going on in Lagos?
Democracy is going on in Lagos. Beautiful democracy. And the game of numbers. So we will not come to contest against the democracy. And then we are happy that the more the merrier. So it's okay.
Yes, the more the merrier. Okay, that sounds like a beautiful rhyme. The more the merrier. But again, what about internal democracy? How are you going to, it's just few days to the primaries, and how are you going to ensure that the party puts forward a formidable force at the primaries?
Well, you know, it's the beautiful thing is we have an incumbent governor, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who has done extremely well for the last 3 years plus. And yeah, you will go to the primaries with the other candidate who submitted his nomination form, and the delegate, if it is delegate election, if it is direct primaries, so Babajide Sanwo-Olu will place him there. But I can tell you one thing is sure, Babajide Sanwo-Olu has done extremely well to deserve a second-term ticket, to deserve to win the general election from 2023. So the party is putting everything in place for a smooth, free, fair, and credible primaries to choose the flag bearer for the All Progressive Congress. And that's what we're going to have in Lagos.
Otumba, let me ask you in strong terms. This gentleman, Mr. Olorunfemi Mustapha, is it going to be a kind of, I don't want to use the word pawn, but is it going to be some kind of game changer for Asiwaju in Lagos?
I didn't get your last is basically a person. Yes, I learned to.
Don't put me in trouble, Otumba. Otumba, don't put me in trouble. Don't put me in trouble. I just addressed him as.
Sanwo-Olu is the incumbent governor, known to everybody, who has performed extremely well, who is also Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's candidate. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu also will stand with Sanwo-Olu.
Okay, so are you joining forces? This may be my last question to you. Are you joining forces with the state mouthpiece to say that the very candidate that the popular kingmaker, so to speak, in Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, is pushing forward, is still the incumbent, and he has no hand whatsoever in the candidacy or the interest of this man, Mr. Olorunfemi Mustapha? Is that what you're saying?
On my, you know, in politics, you don't speak with a tone of finality. But with what I know, and with the information at my disposal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a principled man and is a straightforward man. Just last week, he raised the hand of Sanwo-Olu in endorsement for second term. The endorsing him does not mean there can't be other candidates because it's a democracy. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu stands with Sanwo-Olu. Sanwo-Olu stands with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Lagos stands with Sanwo-Olu.
You played me very smartly there by not saying you were giving your final, a tone of finality to your match. That was Otumba Best Man Nze Jumbo, is a president of Nigeria for Change, Team Nigeria for Change. Thank you. Moving on, as the 2023 political activities continue in Benue State, New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, has launched its activities with the aim of taking over the state as a third force. A governorship aspirant under the party, Simon Gusa, In an interview with PlusTvAfrica correspondent Francis Tur in Makudi shortly after the stakeholders meeting, says his desire is to fix the state with a program titled Developing Benue, One Community at a Time. Take a listen.
According to Gusha, with the acceptance of the party as a strong force, the party will focus on security, local government rebirth, youth and agro-investment as well as job creation, among others.
In Benue State, in the context of Benue State, the NNPP is a third force, relatively new. We know the two big parties in Benue State. We also know that we are disappointed in their performance. We have had a taste of both of the major parties in Benue State, and so it is time for us to offer the people of Benue State an alternative, a viable alternative, not crowded by the the history of failed delivery by the other two parties. So NNPP is a new party for a new Nigeria, for a new Benue State.
A member of the youth group of the part, Comrade Hilary Nyito, says the emergence of the new Nigerian People's Party is for the good of the people of the state, as other political parties have traumatized the nation with poverty, conflicts and corrupt policies.
These two political parties were mentioned has failed us absolutely. We have no other choice now but to bring a third force, which we are here today. And that is why our party is bringing on aspirants that are different completely. His Excellency Simon Gusab just spoke with you, and you can see from the way he spoke how he has a plan for the state. The aspirants on the other parties, if you ask them what do they have for this state, they will tell you that it's their turn. The last time it was PDP, this time it's going to be APC, or the zoned to my zone. What really can they bring on the table? But we in the new Nigerian People's Party, we have candidates that have something, that have a plan for people like me and you.
Also speaking, a local government women leader of the party, Blessing Zungwe, lamented on the suffering meted on the people by other political parties.
We mothers are ready to bring out, to mobilize our children because we are fed up. We farm, we work, we pay these children school fees. At the end of the day, they are being brought back. The highest thing the other parties will just bring out to mobilize them to start beating people, giving them guns to kill. And we are out of that stage as of now. We need to...
Party ahead of the 2023 general elections. The party made this known at a press briefing in Abuja, stating that the party, based on its mantra, will not be used as a vessel or an opportunity vehicle. They stressed that the party will not welcome anyone that has a case pending in court or anyone that has been convicted, even if the person is now appealing that conviction. Take a listen.
And bearing in mind the election guidelines rolled out by INEC, and following the intervention of several well-meaning Nigerians who had seen SDP as the alternate platform for power and saw SDP as the only alternative to PDP and APC, we bent back forward and we offered to joint process the screening of aspirants, candidates for the party primaries. So we accepted the premise that there should be a joint effort so that there won't be a parallel process in screening aspirants and candidates. What we had in mind in fixing what we're fixing for aspirants to pay is the fact that we as a political party, and you know it's private donations, we're not run by public funds as several of those parties maybe. We've looked at the cost of having agents in all the polling units of the Federation, and that has partly determined the costs of funds in our own party. I think ours, on average, is about the third. It's about 30% of what all the other parties are forming.
to the head. All set for Somalia's Sunday presidential election. Details when we return. Please stay with us.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. If you no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 they pay.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games. Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
Let's quickly take you to other parts of Africa. Somalia will hold a long-awaited presidential election on Sunday, ending months of delays, with the new leader set to confront huge challenges, including the grinding Islamist insurgency and the punishing drought that has sparked farming fears. The troubled nation has been grappling with the political crisis since February 2021, when President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed's term ended without a new vote. The 39 candidates include the incumbent, better known as Farmajo, as well as past presidents Sharif Sheikh Ahmed and Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, and former Prime Minister Hassan Ali Kari. In the meantime, the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaro Sissoko Embalo, has sacked the economy minister and given his post to the head of government on a temporary basis. Mr. Victor Mandega, Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Integration, whose appointment was terminated yesterday, had been in office since 2021. He was replaced to guarantee the regular functioning of institutions and for political convenience, said a presidential decree published only yesterday. His post has been temporarily entrusted to Prime Minister Nuno Gomes Nambiam. And Namibian political activist Michael Amushalelo handed himself over to the police today. He was being hunted down for terrorizing the business community after he raided shops in Windhoek's Chinatown. Amushalelo is a member of the political party Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, NEFF. His action, conducted without a court order or mandate, came after the Namibia Revenue Agency destroyed over $5 million, almost 3 million euros worth of goods sold by locals. The nation's tax collecting authority considered them to have been imported illegally. Now, more than 400 people were killed in South Africa floods last month. Human-caused climate change is a big reason, according to scientists. Scientists have said devastating floods in South Africa that killed hundreds of people were made twice as likely by global warming. Take a listen.
global warming made the heavy rains behind South Africa's devastating floods last month twice as likely as they would have been if greenhouse gas emissions had never heated the planet, scientists said on Friday. Flash floods around the eastern coastal city Durban killed 435 people and left tens of thousands homeless. 10 billion rand of damage, or around $622 million, was caused to roads, power lines, water pipes, and one of Africa's busiest ports. The World Weather Attribution Group analysed weather data and digital simulations to compare today's climate with that before the Industrial Revolution in the late 1800s, when the world was more than 2 degrees Fahrenheit cooler. A report of that study said such an extreme rainfall episode would be expected to happen about once every 40 years without human-caused global warming. That's now reduced, it said, to about once every 20 years. Attributing specific weather events to climate change is a tricky business that deals in probabilities and not certainty. However, co-author Friederike Otto of Imperial College London said the study had examined data from the wider region, not just Durban. Africa's southeastern coast is on the front line of seaborne weather systems that scientists say climate change is intensifying. South Africa's northern neighbour, Mozambique, has suffered multiple cyclones and floods in the past decade, including one in April that killed more than 50 people.
Let's leave Africa now. Outside Africa, the United Arab Emirates President Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan has died at the age of 73 today. After battling illness for several years, the Ministry of Presidential Affairs condoles the people of the UAE and Islamic world and also announced 40 days of mourning with flags at half-mast from today, with work suspended in the public and private sectors for the first 3 days. Sheikh Khalifa took over as the UAE's second president in November 2004, succeeding his father as the 16th ruler of Abu Dhabi, the Federation's richest emirate. Now, at least 26 people died today in a fire that broke out in city-state Delhi's western suburb. Over 50 people have been rescued and firefighters are working to control the fire, the police said, adding that ambulances are also at the site of the fire. In the meantime, several people were injured in a knife attack on a train in Germany. Today, the train was traveling to the western town of Aachen. When the incident happened, a police officer who happened to be present and was traveling in civilian clothes intervened with several passengers and was able to overpower the attacker. It then got him arrested. The US Coast Guard has found an additional 7 survivors from the capsizing of a vessel carrying Haitian migrants. This has taken the total number of survivors to 38, with the death toll unchanged at 11. The vessel, which was first spotted yesterday north of the Churchill Island, Puerto Rico, was carrying mostly Haitian migrants as well as 2 citizens of the Dominican Republic. According to the Coast Guard, 8 remain hospitalized of the survivors. Such efforts still continue. A man charged with last month's mass shooting in a New York subway, one of the most violent attacks in the history of the city's transit system, pleaded not guilty to terrorism and weapons charges in Brooklyn Federal Court today. Frank James is accused of carrying out an April 12 gunfire and smoke bomb attack that injured 23 people. He entered his plea before U.S. District Judge William Kantz, dressed in khaki prison clothes. James' lawyer, Maya Eschner Greenberg, from the Federal Defenders of New York, did not seek to have a client released on bail and declined to comment after the plea. 10 people were shot in the attack, which unfolded as a Manhattan-bound train was pulling into the 36th Street station in Brooklyn's Sunset Park neighborhood during the morning commute. 13 others were injured in a frantic rush to flee the train. No one was killed, thankfully.
How do you feel about the judge? How's he doing in jail right now?
Was his family there?
judge said he wanted to be caught. But can you explain his plea of not guilty? No comment, guys. Thanks.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth was forced to miss the traditional formal opening of Parliament earlier this week, appeared in public today to attend a horse show close to her home. She missed the grand set-piece ceremony at Parliament on Tuesday because of what Buckingham Palace described as episodic mobility problems. She has rarely been seen in public since being hospitalized for a night last October for an unspecified illness and then being told by her doctors to rest. She has since carried out duties either remotely or in person at her Windsor Castle home. Up next, CBN says Africa needs to finance her growth. That's in business news after this short break. Please stay with us.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
Now welcome to Business News. The governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele, says Africa needs to finance their own growth. Emefiele said these are the Africa Finance Corporation AFC Live Infrastructure Solutions Summit. He said that over the past 2 years, Africa had suffered crises, each with profound implications for the economies of the continent. Emefiele, represented by Deputy and Board Chairman of AFC, Dr. Kingsley Obiora, said the COVID-19 crisis, with its lockdown, triggered of recession in most parts of the world. He said that the crisis injected a fresh urgency for Africa's rise in self-reliance on the manufacturing and processing of essential products. While the federal government has appealed to insurance companies to pay verified claims promptly to restore confidence in the industry and further entrench the culture of insurance among Nigerians. Speaking at the 50th anniversary of the Nigerian Insurers Association (NIA) and unveiling of Insurers House, the government promised to continue to support the industry to drive economic growth. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, acknowledged the strides made in the last decades by the association to grow the national economy. Dr. Zainab Ahmed, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Aliyu Ahmed, highlighted the efforts of the current administration towards ensuring the growth of the industry. She pointed out that the Consolidated Insurance Bill currently before the National Assembly would redefine insurance business and meet stakeholders' expectations when signed into law. Let's now serve you some entertainment news. Stay with us.
And in entertainment, fast-rising singer CK is the only Nigerian to make the 2022 Times Next Generation Leaders list, as announced by Times on the official website. The Times Next Generation Leaders list recognizes young people from across fields and around the globe who are working to build a better world. Times describes CK as one of the most successful African recording artists ever on a global scale. A woman will say she lost a pregnancy as a result of injuries sustained during the Astroworld Festival crowd crush is suing Travis Scott and the festival organizers for the wrongful death of her unborn baby. Shanazia Williamson and her husband Gerald Owens of Dayton, Ohio, said they were expecting a child when they attended the Astroworld Festival. 10 people were killed during the crowd crush at the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston, Texas last December, and nearly 5,000 say they were injured. Grammy-winning rapper Young Thug lyrics have been cited as evidence in a sweeping 56-count gang indictment against debate over whether lyrics are protected free speech. According to the 88-page indictment obtained, lyrics from the rapper's popular songs were used as examples of overt acts, some of which constitute racketeering. Prosecutors allege that Young Thug founded the gang Young Slime Life in late 2012 and was a key figure in various YSL activities. Lyrics from other popular rappers referencing ties to Young Slime Life are also quoted in the indictment. Sean P. Diddy Combs has announced the launch of Love Records as he releases his first solo album since 2006, Press Play, on his new label, which he has been working on in partnership with Motown Records. Love Records is dedicated to R&B music and will release singles and collaborative projects from a collective of world-class artists, producers, and songwriters. He also noted Love Records is the next chapter. It's about getting back to the love and making the best music of his life. Nigerian actor Benga Richards has died after battling several illnesses. Richards, who was a force to reckon with in the early days of Nollywood, reportedly suffered from the ailments which kept him in and out of hospital until he died. He featured in blockbuster movies like Shango, Mirror in the Sun, Betrayal by Love, Fighting Machine, and a host of others. And that's all in entertainment. I am Ifeoluwa Oshikere.
And the main news again. President Buhari bids farewell to outgoing ministers. Chris Ngige withdraws presidential ambition, holds on to ministerial position. And 26 killed in suburb of Western Delhi fire. That's the news now. For more stories, please follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. I'm Tolu Ojeomi. Thanks for watching and do have a good night.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from PlusTvAfrica.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
welcome to Plus Trending. I am Vicky November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's